Do you want to get your life in order on a sustainable way and not fall back into old habits? In this video, I will share my complete system to getting your life back in order and keeping it that way. Creating a vision. Imagine traveling somewhere. And when you're traveling somewhere, you probably have a destination where you're going. And when you have a destination, you also know how you're going to get there. So, are you going to use a car? Are you going to walk? Are you flying? And this is also something you do when you are creating a vision for yourself. You set a destination, also giving yourself the knowledge of how you're going to get there. This is something that turns a random to do list into a to do list which moves you in a certain direction closer to your vision. And when you are creating a vision, you are actually using the law of attraction. I made a video about that, which I will link down in the description. But when you are, for example, thinking of buying a certain car, let's say a white Tesla, all of a sudden you see more white Teslas driving around. And that's not because there are more Teslas driving around, it's because your mind is focusing on them. And when you are creating a vision, you are actually buying that white Tesla. So all of a sudden, things around you appear that has to do something with your vision. And one tip to creating a vision for yourself is to first think about the roles you have in your life. And let's say, think of a top five of roles you have in your life. And based on those roles, you start writing down what's most important to you. The next step is time management. Your day only consists of 16 hours. When you break it down, your day consists of a lot of different aspects, and oftentimes we overestimate the stuff we can do in a day. So it's important to make it visual. So start with planning in all the stuff you have and putting them in your calendar, and all the white space that is left, that's actually the time you have left, and you will see that it's actually not that much. And it's time to think in roles again, like you did in the vision. It's important to give all those roles dedicated time during the day or during the week and plot those in as well. And last but not least, you will turn it into a system. So, of course, when you create that planning in your calendar, it will not be right the first time, and it will also change over time. So, actually, what you will do is you will sit down weekly, evaluating the time you put in your calendar. Did you commit to it? Did you not commit to it? And why did you not commit to it? Is it because it's not realistic, or is it because your mood wasn't right? Either way, you need to act on it and make it better. So, a few tips for time management are: say no to everything that's not in your calendar, because the things in your calendar are the things you committed to, the things you want to move towards, and those are the most important. All the stuff outside of the calendar is not relevant. And tip number two: time is the most valuable thing you have. It's the only thing in life that is really finite and something you cannot get back. So it's the most important asset you have. So also treat it that way. The body. So now that we have the fundamentals set, it's time to work on our body, because let's not forget that our mind is also in our body and that our body needs to be in an optimal state. That's where it all starts. So let's compare our bodies to a car. For example, training and moving. A Lamborghini is not nice when it stands on the driveway. It needs to be driven. And if we talk about fueling the car, so food and drinks, you need to put the right fuel into the car. And also, you need to stop fueling it when you're not driving it. The body tells a lot about a person. If somebody is really healthy and fit, it tells you that person is disciplined because he trains every day. It means there's a lot of self control because that person is not putting all kinds of bullshit into their mouth. And it means that someone has courage because they have the courage to say no to, for example, a drink or a snack on a party. really important here to keep in mind, and where most diet plans fail and which get people back into their old habits and getting fat again, is that you don't focus on the result. You focus on the thing you want to use your body for. So if you want to get fit, you train every day to get yourself fit. And when you train every day, you will get the result that matches that training. It's not a goal, it's just the result of the stuff that you're doing every day. And if you can do that on a sustainable way, you'll also be fit and healthy on a sustainable way. Instead of doing some sort of crash course, making you fall back in your old habits again because of temporary results. There are a few things and aspects you can focus on when you're training, which also have a mindset aspect to them. When you start with endurance, you have cardio, which is really a physical thing, but a mindset is something that you create with this, that you do not give up easily and that you persevere. Another thing is power. And for the body, this means weight training, weightlifting, and for mindset, this means you are able to carry a lot of responsibility. And last but not least, we have mobility. So for the body, this means yoga and stretching. And for mindset, this means that you feel more room to move and you're more flexible in the stuff that you are doing. A tip from me is that you make sure you every day you train something for 20 minutes that's from that list, or you're going running 20 minutes, or you're going weightlifting 20 minutes, or going stretching 20 minutes. At least one of those needs to be done every day. And also another tip is that something like overtraining, it's really overrated. It's perfectly fine to train every day. Keep that in mind. When you start training, it's also really important to fuel it the right way. You need to put the right things in your body, otherwise, the training will be very hard and maybe even for nothing. So, everybody responds on different kinds of food. So, I won't go into detail about that. Everybody has a different reaction to carbs, to fat, and to proteins. So, that's something you need to test for yourself, and what you feel the best with. So you can test this by just eating a lot of carbs, eating no carbs, eating a lot of fat, no fat. Just see what your body responds best to, and keep it to that. So it's different for everybody. However, of course, there are some universal things we can agree on that don't belong in the human body. So, like I said before, the example with the car is don't put petrol in a diesel car. So, we don't want processed sugars in there. So, we also don't want sodas, also not diet sodas, which are maybe even worse. We don't want fried food. We don't want candy, no chips, no alcohol. These are all things that are very, very bad for you. Your body is not able to handle very well. So it will also cost you a lot of more energy to process that stuff. And on the other hand, it's also really bad for you and also making you out of shape and not giving you the energy that you want from it. It's very important to at least drink 2 liters of water every day. And with the coffee, I know a lot of you like coffee. Try to keep it to 3 or 4 a day, and make sure you don't do any caffeine intake anymore afternoon, because when you do that, the caffeine will remain in the system for about 12 hours, and that will have a negative impact on your sleep, which is really important. I have a video on quitting caffeine, and I will link that in the description. Things you can drink as much as you want, of course, water, tea, as long as it's herbal tea, because in normal tea there's also some caffeine. Now we covered what we can eat. Now, when you should eat. Try to keep it to max 2 or 3 eating moments per day, because when you are starting a meal, when you're eating something, it causes inflammation, and it's good when you eat, but if you're eating throughout the whole day, your body will keep on in an inflammational state, not giving you the time to get in an anabolic state. And the same actually goes for drinking your water. Don't be the guy that's or the girl that's sipping your water all day, because drinking water also causes inflammation, and that's something you need to keep to a minimum. When you need to drink 2 liters of water, just drink 3 glasses of water 3 times a day. One time you drink three, second time you drink three, and then the third time, of course, three. And that is a really nice way to um, divide it. Try to stop eating after 8 o'clock, because your body needs to get into this circadian rhythm. And when you are eating uh, after 8, you are stopping your body or making it harder for your body to get into that restful state, because the digestion system is also something that needs time to shut down. Stop eating after 8 and give your body the time to shut down. And the next day, try skipping your breakfast and start eating after lunchtime, let's say 12 o'clock. It's called intermittent fasting, and this way you keep your food intake moments as least as possible. You'll keep yourself into that fasting state, which is really, really healthy for your blood levels, for your insulin levels. It has all kinds of advantages. So just try it out. We covered now when we eat. Let's cover how we should eat, and eat consciously. So when you're eating, don't sit behind the TV, don't grab your phone, just sit down, eat, and be aware that you're eating something. Enjoy the food on your plate, look at the food, taste the food, and take the time to eat. When you're eating, realize the purpose of why you're eating. Eating serves you because you get energy, and you want to benefit from that. So keep that in mind when you're eating, and keep in mind that eating is not for a good feeling, but really keep in mind that eating is necessary to give you energy for you being able to do the stuff that you want to do every day. Recovery. Opposite to what you might think, relaxing and watching Netflix on the couch is actually not relaxing your mind. Actually, the opposite, it's activating your mind. To get into recovery state and to be recovered, there's actually a few things you can do. So, number one, for you to get good recovery is sleep. And getting to good sleep is you need at least 7 or 8 hours a night. No more coffee after 12. Turn on your screens 2 hours before bedtime, and make sure you have good sleep hygiene. And hygiene means not that you're clean, but sleep hygiene means that the room is dark, your bed is good, there's no sounds, the humidity is right. It's basically the stuff you need to get some good sleep without being disturbed. So, another thing that's really important for sleep is that you build up something called sleep pressure. So, by challenging yourself physically and mentally during the day, you'll actually feel tired at the end of the day. And that's what I call sleep pressure. And that's also gives you some actually signals that you are tired and you should go to sleep. The second in here for recovery is breath work and meditation. It's proven that only 10 minutes of meditation, or as Huberman calls it, NSDR, so no sleep, deep rest, is drastically will drastically improve your state of mind. It will make you more calm, and it will make you more healthy. And it's also something that Wim Hof proved with his breathing techniques. There's one group of people doing the breathing techniques, the other group of people not. The people that are actively doing the breathing techniques got injected with some sort of disease, and it didn't even affected them, while the other people got pretty sick. So there's a lot of health benefits to breath work and meditation. And last but not least, talking about Wim Hof, of course, we have cold showers. And cold showers are pretty good for recovery. So it helps you regulate the temperature of your body, making you able to sleep better. And on the other hand, after you work out, it makes sure your body doesn't need to cool down the skin anymore because it gets cold by the shower, making sure that the energy can be used for other things. I have another video on taking cold showers, which I will link down below in the description. Mindset. It's really important to build a strong mindset. We now have the fundamentals in place, we have the recovery, the body, the sleep, but it's really important to create a strong mindset now. So, how can you improve your mindset? Well, you can start by improving what I call your thinking space, and that's something you do with reading and learning. So, reading non fictional books every day, putting your brain in a really good state of learning. And using actually the brain capacity is also really important for you to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. So, this is something Cal Newport talks about in his book Deep Work, which states that you should do some deep work. And what is deep work? You decide what you're going to do, you remove all distractions from the room, and you set a timer in for 25 minutes and you start to work on that subject. And after 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. But it's really important that during that break, you don't go reading emails, don't go looking on your phone. Just look away from what you were doing, have a walk outside, drink a cup of coffee, drink some water, and then go back to work, which keeps you into that deep work state, which really makes you use your brain capacity. Really important with regards to mindset is that you can control your thoughts. And we all have that voice inside our head, that one voice that says, well, it's time to go to the gym, and the other voice that said, well, you went yesterday, it's not needed anymore. There are ways to be able to control that negative voice. And how can you do that? Well, you can do that by training hard things, forcing yourself to do hard things. And the nice thing is with the system we are talking about that, for example, we have weightlifting in there, we have taking cold showers in there. So there's already some difficult stuff you can do, which has multiple benefits on the body, recovery, and on the mindset. Make sure that you do something difficult at least once every day to make sure you're also challenging yourself. And that's what I said before. That's something that gives you control over the negative voice in your head. To wrap up and close, so first we started with the fundamentals of creating a vision and managing our time. Then we moved over towards the body and talked about the importance of training and moving every day and how that also relates to mindset. And after we talked about the moving of the body, we talked about food. So we covered when we should eat, what we should eat, and how we should eat. We talked about recovery. So when you're putting your body to the test, it's really important to keep a good balance and also give it time to recover. And the most important thing to recover is, of course, sleep. So, when we covered the fundamentals of the body, we closed with the subject of a mindset, and that is very important to train your mindset so you're able to keep committed. And a good way to train your mindset is to do something hard at least once every day. If you liked this video and got some value out of it, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below, what do you think of this system? Do you like it? Maybe you have something else. Maybe you have some tweaks to it. Please let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious to see that. Bye.